Guy can't find his way off of the stage. Look, here's the stage. But if I walk left, there's a stair. And if I walk right, there's a stair. And this guy gets up. Where am I? Where the hell am I?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. So today, I'm taking you through some of the most unhinged, jaw-dropping, and honestly kind of legendary moments from one of the wildest political eras any of us have ever lived through. Love him or can't stand him. It genuinely does not matter for this video, because what I cannot do is sit here and pretend these moments weren't absolutely must-see television. I've gone back through the archives, rewatched way too many clips for my own sanity, and pulled together the ultimate collection of times Donald Trump threw the rulebook completely out the window, and the internet had a full meltdown. Unscripted one-liners, bizarre physical comedy, press conferences that turned into reality TV. It's all here. Get comfortable, because we are getting into it right now.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". Have you seen his hands? They're like this. And you know what they say about men with small hands? You can't trust them.
He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. I've always had people say, Donald, you have the most beautiful hands. Right?
I need to be honest with you. When I first covered this moment, I genuinely thought I was dreaming. Marco Rubio makes a hand-sized crack on the campaign trail, a throwaway line. And rather than ignore it the way any campaign advisor on earth would have recommended, he walks onto a national primary debate stage, holds up his hands to the cameras, and reassures the entire country that there is, and I quote, no problem in that department. On live television, during a presidential debate, the audience reaction tells you everything you need to know.
So when little Marco spews his crap about the size of my hands, which are big, the size of my hand, those hands can hit a golf ball 285 yards, right? Those are good, strong. So what do? For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. Little hands. Take that guy.
So I've watched a lot of press conferences in my life. A lot. And I have never seen one go like this. Jim Acosta pushes back on a question. Things escalate fast. And then, completely unprompted by any rulebook that has ever existed, the President of the United States looks at a CNN journalist and tells him directly, "You are a rude, terrible person." On camera, in front of everyone. The other journalists in that room look like they're watching a car crash in slow motion. This is the moment the White House press briefing fully became a reality show. And honestly, CNN probably got more mileage out of this clip than any story they ran that entire year.
Come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
Right. But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true.
But
they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President. If I may ask one other question, are you?
That's enough. Put down the mic,
Mr. President. Are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his
Well, I'm
butt
not a
like the
big
rest
fan
of
of
us.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said...
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course of
Okay,
the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course...
What I find fascinating about this one is how simple it is. No clever wordplay, no sharp debate line, just shuffling around the podium with a blank expression, muttering, pretending to be completely lost. And it works. Every time. The crowd loses it completely, every single time he does it. I think that's the thing about physical comedy. When it's stripped down to its most basic form, it somehow hits harder than anything scripted. No budget, no writer's room, just a man on a stage doing an impression and an audience that is absolutely here for it. Simple, effective, and honestly kind of masterful in its own chaotic way.
Some people say Biden's going to make it. Does anybody think he's going to make it to the starting gate? I mean, the guy can't find his way off of a stage. Look, here's a stage. Here's a stage. I've never seen this stupid stage before, right? I've never seen it. But if I walk left, there's a stair. And if I walk right, there's a stair. And this guy gets up. Where am I? Where the hell am I? Where am I? Nah, he's terrible. Terrible. You know, I'm much tougher on him than I used to be. Out of respect for the office, I was never like. He's the most corrupt president, the most incompetent president we've ever had. But when they indicted me, and then again and again and again, I was never indicted. Now I'm setting records. Al Capone was not indicted so much. Alphonse Capone. If you looked at Al Capone in the wrong way, he'd kill you. He was not indicted like me. I was never indicted. I didn't know. When they taught me at the Wharton School of Finance, they didn't talk about indictment. It's a disgrace what's happening. They've weaponized elections. They've done everything. I mean, these are very bad people. But I used to talk relatively nicely about them. I wouldn't go out of my way. I wouldn't say the things I say now. Now I'm just all in because these people are bad and they're dangerous and we have to stop.
And I saved this one for last because as far as I'm concerned, this is the single greatest unscripted political one-liner I have ever seen delivered in real time. Hillary Clinton is trying to make a point about temperament. She says something along the lines of it being a good thing he's not in charge of the law. And before the sentence has barely finished, he leans forward and says, "Because you'd be in jail." 4 words. The crowd explodes. The moderators look horrified. Hillary's smile goes completely stiff. I've rewatched this moment more times than I can count, and the timing still gets me. That wasn't luck. That was someone who knew exactly what they were doing and delivered it perfectly.
Levels of the Kremlin.
She has no idea whether it's Russia, China, or anybody else.
I am not quoting myself.
No idea.
I am. He'd rather believe Vladimir Putin.
She doesn't like Putin because Putin has outsmarted her at every step of the way. Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's after a year-long investigation. There is no evidence that anyone hacked the server I was using. And there is no evidence that any classified material ended up in the wrong hands.
For you to say that there was nothing wrong with you deleting 39,000 emails, again, you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's just not true. And so please go
you didn't delete them?
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Not.
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because you have
I didn't
nothing
in
to
the
say.
first debate, and I'm going to try not to in this debate because I'd like to get to the questions.
And get off this question.
Everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised.
Really?
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.